Hey guys, I'm finally getting around to it. It's 11:28 a.m. I'm finally getting around to this. I remember when I said Monday that I was going to do a video at around 3 p.m. Of the reading letters from the Civil War from Confederate and Union soldiers. Well, I didn't get to it because my sister was home that day because Labor Day, of course, and I didn't want to kick her off the computer just to do the video because she loves to play Minecraft. So I let her play on the computer for the day. So since she's back at school, I'm going to do the video that I promised you guys I would do, and also completely unrelated to the topic of the video that I'm going to do, I'm going to post a link below in the description box, not related to anything Civil War-like, but it's linking to a magician's page, who's also a great stand-up comedian, Ben Simon, and he's a very funny Jewish comedian slash fantastic magician. And I mean, his stand-up routine like had me busting my gut out. I mean, there's very few good comedians these days. I mean, this guy's hilarious. So with that being said, let's get to the letters of the Civil War. Considering that I'm from Pennsylvania, I think it would be I didn't know, okay, I didn't know that had a tone to it. Never mind the music, anyway, let's get to the letter. Now, these are some of the things these are excerpts from his letters that he wrote from the beginning to the end of the Civil War. This is a letter he wrote to, I believe, his wife? Yeah. So Hugh Fraser is drafted. Good for him. No man but a coward would permit himself to drive her into the service but such war. I think such men ought to be in the rebel army where all the conscripts are. Now, conscripts, he means Confederate soldiers. From November 10th, so Dilger says he is not hired for Uncle Sam. I think he has done worse for conscripts done worse for conscripts are Uncle Sam's slaves. The old... I gotta enlarge this. Yeah, there we go. The old reserves don't like the idea of filling up their regiment with drafted men. They say they want men that will fight and not these baby conscripts. This is from, criticism that he responded from his sister. Well, sister, I must tell you what I have been doing today. This morning, I left camp about 7 o'clock and went to visit the 126th Regiment, which is 7 miles from me. I saw most of the Lurgan Township boys. They are looking well and hearty. They are making great calculations on going home soon. You ladies must not pet these worn and mangled veterans whose time of 9 months is about to expire. Some of these patriotic boys of Franklin Company is great discouraged and think playing soldier is not what it is choked up to be. This next part is from a letter that he wrote to Congress. I am glad to hear that Hugh Frager is being drafted. I hope he and all the rest of the drafted men turn out in the field. This thing of drafting men and let them pay their $3 is not much of a benefit to our army. We will never fill up the ranks in this way of doing things. Every man that's drafted should feel it is his duty to respond to his country call. The way it sees best to call upon him. If the people of the North want peace, why don't they come themselves and not send their $3? It is men we want, not money. But I suppose they think if they pay us soldiers, we will fight it out for them. Parentheses, stay at home, cowards and traitors. A man that buys his independence in the field should never call the United States his home, or at least he should never be treated as an American citizen. Wow. That's very interesting. Okay. This is from his first year in military life, dated September 3rd, 1861. I am enjoying myself finely, better far than I expected. I keep good health and take the living first. No, I like soldiers like very well, for better than I expected. We get plenty to eat and drink, and for sleeping we are furnished with Uncle Sam bed that nature gave him, which is very pleasant only in rainy weather. This is a two-parter. This is why he was asking his friends when he was away. How is Carrie getting along? Does she have as many boys as usual? Who pays the most attention to her? What has become of Ras Frager? Is she going to return to the West? Have you any inquiry meetings this fall? What has become of Walt means? Is he gallanting any of the ladies? And Martha Hayes, Waries, and McCoons, are there any gents paying attention to them? Parentheses, I want you to answer all these questions. End parentheses. You must keep me better posted in the young people's affairs in the neighborhood. Let's read one more because there's a lot here. Here's one from Gettysburg. I suppose the people of the North say put in that gen, and this gen, to command the army, and we will soon whip the rebels. I would like to know The people of the North knows when we have good or bad general when they never worked under him. When the soldiers had a man that they would fight to the last, for we could not keep him. Give us back Gen G.B. McClellan, and we will protect the United States right, but must quit talking such language or you will take me as one of his wits. Okay, now, from what we read is, it sounds like he survived this whole Civil War and was one of the few remaining survivors who were alive after the 1800s. Now, I know YouTube videos have a certain amount of time to them, the way I'm doing it, so since I read a Union soldier's letter, let's go down to the South. Let's read a Confederate's letter, and be aware, there might be some racial slurs in there, in the Confederate letter. Just saying, be aware, don't be surprised. This is from the 23rd Virginia Infantry, Lieutenant Colonel Clayton G. Coleman. And the letter is in there. Let's go to 30, let's go to the Private Joseph Milton Elkins, who is a part of the 49th Virginia Infantry Company E. This is a full letter that he wrote to his wife from July 21st, 1861. Camp Pickens. Dear wife, I take this opportunity of writing you these few lines to inform you that I am well at this present time, and when these few lines come to hand, they may find you enjoying the same health. We had another great battle Sunday. It commenced at 6 o'clock and ended at 6 o'clock. I'm assuming it started in the morning and ended at night. It was the hardest battle that was ever fought in America. And they had 10 to our 1. We conquered them. We lost about 800 in killed and wounded. The Yankees lost about 5,000 and we took 1,300 prisoners and 125 horses, baggage wagons, and 64 pieces of cannon, besides a great many things. I was not in the battle, but I could hear the report of the cannons, which was the very plain view as we was in sight of the battlefield. It was a sad but dreary day. I never had spent such a Sabbath in my life before. I have seen the horror of war. I had to stand in the sentinel duty at the hospital door where I could see the wounded soldiers. I stood from 12 o'clock till Monday night. I had to be up all night to guard the wounded. It was the saddest thing I ever saw, to hear the moans of the wounded and dying. I saw the surgeons operating on them. It made me shed tears to see how they suffered. Some had both of their arms cut off and some of their legs. I saw the surgeons' operations. It was a distressing sight to see them, how they suffered. We like to the old Scott, General Winston Scott. They got his coat and have completely routed them. Sorry. I expect we will attack Washington City next. President Jefferson Davis came here Sunday. He went out in the battlefield and came around and looked at all the wounded soldiers and shed tears over them. He is a pleasant and graceful in his manner, but it seemed to put a new vigor in his army to see him in their presence. I heard and read a good deal about war, but I have seen the horror at last. I never want to look into another hospital if I can help myself again. I have nothing more to say about the war. It should be the will of the Almighty for me to go into battle. I trust to be in His care. He has the power to save. I will put my trust in Him. I want you to write me as soon as I can, direct it in the care of Captain Williams. And how are you getting along if they have sent you provisions yet? I don't know when I can come up, but I will come as soon as I can. I am always thinking of you and the children. I hope I will return to you again. But I want you to raise them right if I should not get back. Nothing more at present but remains of our affectionate husband till death parts us. Your Joseph M. Elkins to Sarah Elkins from Flint Hill, Virginia. Wow. First of all, I'm surprised there isn't any racial slurs in there, to be honest. But the thing is, though, that's a powerful letter. I guess the Union letters were lost somewhere around the time, but I mean, saying basically, in a nutshell, wish the best for me to stay alive, but don't be surprised if I get killed. I mean, that's a really hard thing for anybody to write their spouse, and this is what I'll say. To all the people that fought for the North and South during the Civil War, do I agree with the South's cause or for fighting? No, not one bit. But just the fact that they were willing to fight for slavery and to keep it, and they were willing to die for it, is brave enough in my book to say that was an honorable fight that they fought for. Just as much as the North wanted to end it, which was the right thing to do, but at the same time they were, my side of the United States wanted to end slavery because it was so immoral, and they were willing to die for that cause. And that, like I said, is bravery enough in my book to be considered valid fight. See you guys.